Okay, it's Alec the Catholic, and I'm back at it again with another one of these reaction videos. This time, Andy Mineo. I think he's a Christian rapper who was introduced to me by a friend of mine. He told me I needed to check out this song. He said I would totally get it and understand. It's called Shame. I've been there. I've felt that. I know what that's about. So let's get into it.
You fly in circles around my head while I sit on the edge of my bed. I cry, oh, whatever done again. It's hard not to hate who I am.
Oh, man. Yeah.
It's hard not to hate who I am.
Yeah, that first line already, it felt that exact thing. Like, I know I'm about to hate myself for this. And it's that little battle that goes on where it's like, do I do it? Do I not? Do I do it? Do I not? As an addict, I know I'm about to hate who I am. Shoot. So already, and already I'm relating to the song a lot. Let's see what it's about.
I chased the moment that when I had it, I felt alive. But now that the thrill is gone, I feel dead inside. I feel like everyone know the secrets I wanna hide. And every time they ask me how I'm doing, I just say I'm fine. Too embarrassed to share it, or maybe too much pride. I create my own prison, holding the keys inside.
Did you hear that? I create my own prison, holding the keys inside. Yeah, it's the little world, the little addict's world. Your own little place, just you, obsessed with yourself, stuck in your head. Man. Okay.
Punishing myself for all of these crimes, and I'm trying to convince God that I'm not a waste of his time.
Oh, I'm trying to convince God that I'm not a waste of his time. Shoot. All right, yeah, that got me. That got me in the heartstrings. That's a feeling that I can relate to. I've been there. I have done that. Thankfully, I believe that God is doesn't think anyone is a waste of his time, and I have hope in that. And I'm glad I have that hope.
What's wrong with me? Am I defective? I keep on making a mess. Why can't I ever get it together? Soon people gon' find out I'm not what they expected. They see who I really am, then I end up rejected. I try to stand tall, but these knees are collapsing. Instead of asking for help, these apps will distract me. So lonely, but so
These apps will distract me. Yeah. Like on my phone, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Yeah. And I totally relate to that fear too of like, if people find out it. I remember that so well in college. Like, okay, so you can watch my testimony video on being a sex addict, a porn addict. It's in my channel. But I remember in college when I was talking to my wife, and we were talking about how I wanted to teach catechism and confirmation at my parish back home. And this when it was in college in San Diego at the time. And I remember thinking, like, I have no place, no business teaching people, teenagers especially, about God when I can't even stop. I've prayed to God that he would help me stop, and I have not been able to. Right? It was bad. And I remember the first time that I shared about my addiction with the guys in my 12-step group, which I started actually in San Diego. I remember the fear of just opening my mouth and admitting to somebody other than like a really, really, really close friend. Because at the time, I think only 3 people knew I had a problem. 3 or 4 people had actually heard me tell them I had a problem. I think there are a lot of people who knew I had a problem, especially girls I would try and text with back in high school. So there's a lot of people who knew I had a problem, but no one who was like knew I had a problem that I was struggling with that I wanted gone. Like close friends. I only had a few of them who knew that about me and knew I was struggling with this addiction specifically. It was liberating telling a group of strangers, a group of guys who I did not know. It was liberating telling them, and it was also liberating to hear them tell me, "Hey, you're not alone." That was powerful, and I've since given talks to like 200 plus people about my addiction, and people I know very closely were in that crowd, and they had no idea. And so that was a shock to them. And it is scary telling people, close friends and family, all of a sudden, in front of a bunch of other people, that you have this problem, especially a porn addiction problem, which is, most people believe it's not even an issue. Most people don't know anything about it. And yet most people have it. It's like a very common issue and problem to have, but people don't want to admit that it's a problem. People don't want to admit that it's bad. People don't want to quit, frankly. And so most of the time it goes under the radar, or it's excused as like, oh well, it's just sex. Okay. Yeah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a second, but I don't need to go into that too much here. I'm just saying I relate a lot to what he is saying at the moment. The moment I really do. I can relate to these feelings, these thoughts, so well.
Many people are friending me while I post. I hope one day to be happy as I pretend to be.
You fly in circles around my head while I sit on the edge of my bed. I cry, oh, whatever done again.
Man, this guy can sing. It's really falsetto, really high pitched voice, but shoot, he can sing. The beat is chill. I love the jazz chords, the blues chords.
It's hard not to hate who I am. It's hard not to hate who I am.
I was 13 the first time my mama caught me watching porn. She started screaming she couldn't believe her last born was dead.
So he is talking about porn. This is a porn addict song. You've no idea how good that makes me feel. To know that somebody would actually write a song from my point of view. Something I couldn't do. It's good to know. It's good to know, and I hope a lot more people listen to this and hear it and understand it. This is pretty much a song about me, and from my perspective, a lot. I was younger when I got caught looking at porn. I was younger than 13. But my mom didn't scream at me. No one screamed at me. My parents were extremely chill about it. They weren't like okay with it. But my dad had he and I love my dad for this. He was, and still is, like he takes terrible tragedies with so much cool and calm, and I think he's like dying inside, but he does it for me. He did it a lot for me growing up and for my siblings, where he could just, let's calmly, rationally go through this together. And I remember the first talk he had with me when he caught me. He saw what I'd been looking at in the browser history, and by then I was already like years into my addiction. And I remember that he was just, it was a very good, calm conversation. He never screamed at me, but he made it very clear to me that it was not good, and it was bad, and it was something I shouldn't be doing. I did get in trouble. I got grounded or something, but I just remember it being in a moment of where he was not so much angry as much as he was disappointed. And I know a lot of people are like, well, that's so much worse. But it's like, I don't blame him for being disappointed. I would be too. I am still. And I'm trying to let go of that now. But I appreciate the fact that my dad never yelled at me, and he let me grow up and figure it out on my own, frankly, which is what I needed to do. He couldn't fix me. It was too late to fix me. And my problem was a spiritual one. It was inside. And a father can only do so much. A father can only do so much.
Dabbling in something so destructive. I wish I could have said it was my last time, but nah, I wasn't. And the more I thought about it, the more I got bothered. These women I'm objectifying are somebody's daughters.
It's amazing how often people don't think about that fact. I have a little girl. And I want her to have the best life. I want her to be happy. I want her to be fulfilled. I want her to be strong. I want her to be independent. I want her to feel empowered. And I want her to do all the wonderful things in this world and experience life to the fullest. I do not want anyone to look at my daughter the way I have looked at other people's daughters. Because I want her to be safe. I would die for her. You know? And I'm sure there's not a dad who loves his daughter and who would be just devastated to discover his daughter's doing like she's acting in those films and that stuff, and just they're people. Porn is bad not because it shows too much, but because it shows too little. It shows so little. It's all fake. These are actors. They have souls. They have hearts. They have brains. They have a past. They have friends. They have family. They're human beings who, if they were to die right after that video was filmed or that porn flick that scene was shot, that death would impact people's lives. People would miss them. People would be sad to see them go. People would wish that they had talked to them more. People would wish that they had a chance to say goodbye. You know, somebody loves them. And even if no one loves them, God at least loves them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here. Right? They would have never had a chance to live. And I'm just like, porn is such a small, narrow view of a person and a people. And it's so fake. Dang, I don't know. This song is it's gonna pull out a lot for me. I'm sorry.
Never really thought I had a problem till it followed me to college, and I felt debilitated by its bondage. Became a Christian, heard about God's power. Couldn't see it in my life, but I could tell you all about it. Overloaded with knowledge, making so little progress. Became a public figure, but my struggles weren't private. Only started tasting freedom when I'm being honest. And I learned that when I'm weak is when I'm seeing God the strongest. I know some people gonna be quick to throw stones, but I take all of those hits so you know that you're not alone. And
that was my reasoning for getting up and giving my talk. I gave a witness talk about my porn addiction, and it was like 200 kids, or I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was about 200. And I'm not saying kids, like little kids, like teenagers, and it was because I knew in that room of 200 teenagers, at least half of them have a bad experience with porn or are currently struggling with it, because that's what the statistics show. The statistics show that pornography is probably the most common addiction. It's the most common, widespread addiction because it's free, it's private, it's secretive, and and there's so few flags to show signs. There's so few things that so few symptoms of it. The average age currently, as far as I remember, the average age for a child to be introduced to pornography, like graphic porn, like hardcore porn, videos and images, is 9 years old now. It is now 9 years old. It used to be 11. Now it's 9. That's what I remember from one of my meetings about a year ago. There was a book written about the porn epidemic, and no one talks about it because more than half of the world doesn't believe it's a problem, and they don't care. The NoFap community on Reddit is criticized and mocked. Yet the results are very common too. There's actually now, it's been around long enough finally that they're actually able to study people who have had the addiction and who have stopped masturbating and watching porn. They're actually able to stop to see those people and see what they did and how they did it, and whether or not they go back. And it takes like a Herculean effort to stop if you're addicted. I'm not gonna lie, it really does. And the more you do it, the harder it is to stop. The longest I've been able to go is a year and a half. That's my record. Since I was a little boy, the longest I've been able to go is a year and a half. And I just don't want anyone to have to go through the same thing. And it's coming, currently being sober and maintaining my sobriety, I'm just a better person. I'm more considerate. I don't live in my own world. I'm thinking about what I can do for others more often than I am thinking about myself. And I live a much happier, fulfilling life because of that. So I just don't want anyone getting into it. It just bothers me so much that people don't believe it's a real problem. I'm so glad this guy wrote this song. Let's keep going.
And after 28 years of life, I decided everybody's crooked. Some just do a better job at hiding it.
Oh, everybody's crooked. Some people just do a better job of hiding it. I did a really good job the majority of my life. I would much rather live honestly and real now. Much rather.
Oh, how good does freedom taste? I hope they
Yes.
give me the forgiveness they gon' need one day. I pray.
Jesus, He washes away all of my sin. Washes away all my sin. Jesus washes away all of my sin. Jesus, He washes away all of my sin. Washes away all my sin. Jesus washes away all of my sin. Jesus, He washes away all of my sin. Washes away all my sin. Jesus washes away all of my sin. Jesus, He washes away all of my sin. Washes away all my sin. Jesus washes away all of my sin. Jesus, He washes away all of my sin. Washes away all my sin. Jesus washes away all of my sin. Jesus, He washes away all of my sin. Washes away all my sin. Jesus washes away all of my sin.
Okay. That was a beautiful like praise and worship moment, followed up by just like a Kanye West sized orchestral victorious trumpet section. It's just like, oh, it's so cool. So freaking cool. The little flutes in there. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful music. Beautiful music. Let's go. Right here, this is what I love about hip hop specifically. Like, you cannot. It feels like you're in a cop car and you're going like you're on a mission right now, bro. Like, you're in a cop car going 90 miles down the freeway, and you got your guys in the back, and we're gonna go handle the bad guys. You know, like it feels like the Bad Boys 2. You know, like it just feels so good and powerful and victorious and courageous and strong and just like, oh, this is the way to end a song about porn addiction on a high note. Jesus washes away all my sin. Amen. Like, just amen. Hallelujah. And bro, I feel strong. I feel strong. I've never wanted to mosh more to a rap, like a hip hop song, rap song, than ever before. Like, just right now, I just want to start moshing, just going nuts. Little flutes, piccolos, whatever. Sorry. So good. So good. This is a song I'm going to be listening to a lot. I can already tell. I could tell a minute ago. 2 minutes ago. It's a song about what I'm going through. It's a song about what I have been through. I relate to it 100%. 100%. And I'm not ashamed anymore to talk about my addiction. I talk about it all the time. I'm really not ashamed to talk about it. And I know at some point my comments are going to be filled with people just going, "You're nuts, you're stupid, porn's not bad, people need it. You need porn." You don't need. No one has ever needed porn. A lot of babies in this world were born from men who never once saw a pornographic image in their lives, and a lot of good men have done great things and never looked at a single image of porn. Okay, so yeah, sex is good. It's holy. It's great. I'm nothing against sex. What I have everything against is lust and just focusing on purely the sexual aspect of a person and a person's life, just their body. That's so shallow and degrading and shameful and weird and just wrong. It's just plain wrong. You would never throw a party where unless you're a scumbag, right? I mean, it's just, you would never throw a party where you ask people to take off all their clothes and just walk around so that they can be judged by the host. just by their bodies. Like, that's why is it that that's considered normal and okay as long as no one sees you doing it? If it's normal and it's totally okay, then why do we not put porn on for our kids? Why don't we put it on for grandma? Like, we don't. No one watches porn and they don't masturbate in front of grandma. You can fart in front of grandma and she'd probably laugh. You can burp in front of grandma. Those are normal human bodily functions. But masturbating and watching porn, you don't do those things in front of it. You can tell me up and down all day that it's just because society. I'm sorry, but if we live in a society where that's what we did, it's just like the ramifications of that, the damage that you would do to children and people who aren't fully formed, who aren't adults yet, who haven't matured enough to be able to handle and understand and parse through and discern. Like, it's just, you're not, it's never going to be okay. It's never going to be okay to focus on just someone's body and throw the rest out. It's not okay. It's never going to be okay for me. Never going to be okay for me. That's what I have done a lot of. I'm sick of it. I'm ashamed of it. And now that I know people, now that I have children and a wife, the whole person means so much more to me than just their body. And it just, I hate to get up here and just preach, but that's literally what I feel, and that's what I go through, and that's what I believe. And this song is my song, and take it or leave it. But now you know my perspective, and maybe that'll inform yours. If you struggle with addiction, if you struggle with porn addiction, and you relate to this song, check the link in my description. Our tribe, Recovery Tribe, for people who are recovering from addictions or from social anxiety, depression, eating disorders. There's an anonymous community there for you to go to. It's free. You can pay for courses. You can pay for counseling if you want through it, but you can use it just free like I do. And they don't pay me to say this. I use it. It has helped me tremendously. I track my sobriety on it, at the very least, tracking whether or not you've got a successful day, or if you had a setback, you had a relapse today. Tracking that and being honest with yourself and with the app and with the people on the community. That the addictions die in daylight. They die in intimacy. Getting to know other people on a deep level is what will fill that void inside your heart that the drug was previously filling. So, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. I want to hear from other people who are going through the same thing I am. I would love to. You can tell me if I'm nuts. That's okay. Like, I welcome all feedback and comments on my videos. I'm here to listen to you and have a conversation. But I really would also, I would like just encourage you, if you're struggling with this and you never admitted it, or you never wanted to admit it, or you just never thought it was a problem, like, tell me what your experience has been like, and I want to learn from everybody. That's okay. Like, you are where you're at. You are who you are, and I accept you the way you are. Period. The whole person, not just your body, not just your comments here. Okay? So, I love you. Thanks for watching.